Honestly, I bet Rodgers.
What's up? Oh, go ahead, Breech. It doesn't matter. We're just live. Doesn't matter.
I was going to say, I feel like Rodgers, like, whatever, 5-yard penalty is good. I have more room to work with because the Cardinals defense has been shutting him down on these 1-yard gains. I mean, remember the Aaron Jones touchdown? He only got in like by a centimeter in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would probably prefer 1 yard to the end zone versus 6, but I feel you're hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host. This is our pre-game game watch pre-pod party on here. We have the Packers 24-21. Aaron Rodgers about to throw it on third down and goal, or maybe he's going to run it. Is he going to run it?
Yeah,
is he going to run it? Oh!
He didn't get in.
He is either really. They got the penalty back. It looks like he took a big hit. That's unnecessary when you're up 3 points.
3 big hits after getting that nasty rough the passer hit.
He might. It's going to be close. There's a chance he got across.
He did not.
If he had taken off sprinting, he gets that.
No, he's 30. He's 40 years old.
Oh,
and 3 guys. He's a yard short.
Oh my goodness, he's not short by much.
He's short by a yard.
What do you do? Do you go for it if you're Green Bay though?
You do that, you might as well go for it.
If you don't,
if you go for it and don't get it, then the Cardinals only need a field goal to tie, which is
but they have to go 99 yards. You go for it.
Yeah, but if you
they don't have to go 90 yards. They have to go 50 yards because they only need a field goal.
Right,
they only have to go 40 yards.
But if you kick the Cardinals can win with a touchdown, and that is
Breech.
A dagger. If you're the Packers, I feel like I go because I don't want to lose this game.
Yeah, come on, Breech.
And here's the other thing.
Ryan, you just said they have to go 99 yards if they don't get this.
That's how bad their field goal kicker is.
Their field goal kicker is the second longest field goal in NFL history.
That's what Aaron Rodgers thinks about your dumb decision, Breech.
And with the other thing too.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers, did you see Brinson's against the spread?
By the way, Wilson and Breech both have the Cardinals here, so that shouldn't matter a whole lot. Even in overtime, they couldn't cover. I have the Packers.
Never say never, Brinson. Never say never.
Oh, knockdown. The other reason why you go
for it goodness.
Why didn't they kick it?
I don't think you go.
No. The other reason you go for it is there's some game theory here where, no, seriously, Cliff Kingsbury is going to probably play for a field goal and try to get to overtime. Whereas if there's 3:23 left, that's a lot of time, though.
Why would you?
Why
would you play for a field goal?
He's not playing for a field goal.
No. That's pretty standard. He knows he can go to overtime with a field goal. He's not going to be aggressive.
He's gotten more aggressive though. He's gone for 2 4th downs in this game. I don't think he's playing for a field goal.
My point being is that if you're up 6, there is no field goal on the board. It's not an available option.
No. Well, I don't think there's game theory anywhere that states that you go for a field goal with 3.5 minutes left in Kyler Murray.
Now it would be hilarious if Kyler Murray got safety here and then all this was for naught. And then
that's even more reason to go for it though, Breech. Don't kick a field goal.
Yeah, it's bad field position. They have to go a lengthy way to.
Oh my God!
He did not get out by much.
Running the ball. Now, if they're going to run the ball every time, then they're going for a field goal.
Game theory, baby.
Game theory.
It is. I mean,
it is not game theory. I took game theory. I took game theory in graduate school. I didn't see you in that class. Tell me what game theory.
I feel like Cliff is running it there.
I can't do math.
Cliff is a little freaked out from last week. They got safetied by the Texans.
His knee wasn't down.
It was close.
They got safetied by the Texans last week when they tried to throw it out of the end zone. So I feel like that is at least in the back of Cliff Kingsbury's mind why they might have run on first down.
And remember, they got a third-string center who's never really played center.
Oh, my God.
At center. Incomplete pass. So we got 3rd and 10 on the Arizona 1.
And the other part of this, if you don't get it on third down, if you don't get any yardage here, you have to punt, right?
You're not going to get the ball back.
With 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning, yes.
Because you're giving them
you have to punt. You can't go here for – if you have 4th and 10, you can't go here. You have to punt.
You get 5 yards and you go for it.
Yes. I agree with that.
5 or shorter, you probably go for it, yeah.
But 4th and 10 from your 1, you got to punt.
Because you haven't stopped.
When you punt, either way, like punt or 4th and 10 from the 1, your probability of winning is less than 5%.
This is where you run my onside punt.
4th and 10 from the 1 is
What's
not
the onside punt.
The onside punt is you ask your punter to kick a super low line drive so that it hits the other team's defensive lineman.
Ooh, how you do that?
Is that
AJ Green
Hopkins
limping around? Turn around and run the ball, man. You're back and try to moonwalk to the end zone.
23 yards there at this is.
So real quick,
it's getting spicy.
Matt Prater, second longest field goal in NFL history, 64 yards. He had the record for 8 years before Tucker broke it. So basically, if you get to,
yeah, now
is it Kirk or is that Moore?
I think it's
There it is. There's the field goal line.
Green Bay's 47 already. They are in field goal range.
Call timeout.
Now we'll see if they.
Now, this is where I want to point out if I am indeed correct about the game theory thing. I want to see how aggressive. Stop. I want to see what Cliff Kingsbury does with play calling right here, because if he starts running the ball and trying to
do with game theory. Quit saying game theory. You
are not running. He'd be crazy to run the ball at this point because it'd be a 66-yard field goal from here. You've got to keep throwing.
And you don't need to make Green Bay use their timeouts anyway.
But also, you do want to slow down, because if you do kick a field goal, you don't want it to come with like 40 seconds left and give Aaron Rodgers 40 seconds to go down and get a field goal. So like that is the part they need to worry about, is scoring too quickly.
I mean, is Wilson getting like mad about stuff just because he's not winning against a spread in a game he didn't actually bet on?
No, I think that he took a game theory class and he's saying that your game theory is asinine.
Yes, that's all I'm saying. And you keep saying it.
Let's see what Cliff calls. He's going to dial deep passes, or is he going to set up?
I don't want to keep calling you out, but you keep mentioning it. What is game theory?
It's how you approach.
There it is. Thank you.
What is game theory then, Wilson?
I'm not saying game theory is being used here because
what is game theory then? What is game theory?
Prisoner's Dilemma is an example of game theory. You might remember John Nash, who won the Carnegie Mellon, by the way.
He would have been a good NFL coach, huh?
You know what the Carnegie Mellon? David Tepper.
He's
put you in your place, he's just trading for Sam Darnold, and he's trying to get Deshaun Watson.
That's game theory.
He's a billionaire.
He's done okay, right?
The question in the chat.
What is it?
Should Brinson keep
Debo being they're throwing short, man. They're throwing short. They're going to try to get out of bounds.
He's not getting out of bounds. What are you talking about?
He's running for it.
That's what you do. That's smart. You want the clock to run while you're getting yardage, and then you get toward the end zone. That's a perfect play right there.
Cliff Kingsbury is sort of settling for a field goal. He wants not.
I don't know why
he's not going for a touchdown. I mean, he will take a touchdown, obviously.
He does not want to go to overtime with Aaron Rodgers.
He's got over a minute and a half. He's fine. Go to 38. There's no rush. I mean, you don't want to rush. You don't want to score like Breech said with 40 seconds to go.
Now, if they get a first down here and they start running it, then maybe your game theory comes into play.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying is if they get close, if they're sufficiently in field goal range and start running it. My point was, by going for it on fourth down there, you bring that into play where they are willing to accept a field goal attempt to go to overtime. Whereas if they're up, like if they do a draw here.
Anyone I see just got tweeted this, and maybe people bet Cards 6.5, wondering how they can win. Your best bet right now is a field goal by the Cardinals, and then Aaron Rodgers pick 6.
Yeah, pick 6.
That's about it.
But
they still wouldn't kick the extra point.
Oh my God!
Oh, chaos! Oh, well, that's not part of game theory. I'll tell you that much.
No, you don't put that into the.
That's your third string center playing a huge part. That's
you
crazy.
Bring that time out.
Who's the center? What's his name?
Sean Harlow is the center. He is first start of his career.
What happened to the other two guys?
Well, I know Rodney Hudson's injured. I don't even know who the backup guy is.
I don't either. Need to get his ass out there. I'll tell you that. Caliber.
He's Max Garcia's not active.
Is Max Garcia's number 2?
Yeah. Rodney Hudson's on IR. Max Garcia's not active.
And so you have Sean Harlow.
Harlow.
And he had been, I mean, he's been getting beat on the ball, but that was his first bad snap of the game.
He's 26. He's been around.
Yeah, I think 2018. This is his first start ever. And I think he's only played in 5 or 6 games in his career. So not a great spot to choke.
That Aaron Rodgers face, that might be better than the Eli Manning face.
Well, then we also had him waving at the ref like, hey, am I going to get my flag, bro?
Yeah, that's too much. And then if he fumbles that and then he's yelling and screaming about he didn't get the flag call because he's trying to.
I think this is where things get interesting. If they only get like 8 yards, not on this, but in the next 2 plays, and it becomes 4th and 10 from the 32.
Oh, please throw the ball. Go, Rondell. Go, Rondell. Go. That's not Rondell. That's Chase. Go, Chase. What a play.
Wow, this game is wild.
You got to kick the field goal.
Are you serious?
No, I'm making fun of him. Give me a
game theory.
Well, I mean, the they might run to kick the field goal, went out the window when Kyler fumbled the snap over his head. I mean,
but I mean, you actually backdoored your way to the field goal conversation had they not done anything on that play there.
Again, if you don't go for it, either the Cardinals don't score or they score a touchdown and you lose.
What was the over-under on this game? Was it 50.5?
50.5.
So if it goes overtime, it's not hitting. The under's not hitting unless a tie.
Yeah, that's correct.
I need overtime.
I don't have anything on the over-under, so I don't care.
I need overtime.
That's why I didn't want to bet the under.
I can't believe how slow the Cardinals look. Actually, not even the offense. The defense has been doo-doo. How did that defense play the way it did against the run when they got one player out there? Aaron Jones running all over him.
The Packers defense has played so well tonight.
And Jair Alexander's not out there.
Monster plays where
Kevin King's not out there.
What's that?
Jair wasn't out there. Kevin King wasn't out there.
Yeah, Jair's on that.
If the Packers kick that field goal and they're up 27-21, even if the Cardinals score a touchdown, you still have the hope of
Tom in the chat sweating this 51.5. You got to get him before he gets out of bounds.
Get out of bounds. Get out of bounds. There you go.
If the Packers kicked that field goal and they were up 27-21 and the Cardinals were driving, you still have the hope that they miss an extra point too, which happens.
Stop it.
Especially in a clutch situation. It does happen.
You're just talking up the field goal kicker. Make up your mind. Do you like him or not?
No, I said he has a strong leg. I didn't say anything about his accuracy.
You said he had the record before Justin Tucker did, so he must be pretty accurate from 60 plus.
I mean, he has a strong leg. It's Matt Prater. Set the NFL record for longest kick with the Broncos in 2013, 64 yards.
What if Kyler Murray drop kicks it from here?
Then
he's running again. Why is he running all of a sudden?
That's a great tackle right there.
Great tackle. He fell down.
Did he not get the first?
Did he fall down?
Did he get the first?
I don't.
The Cardinals got to call timeout here, right? You can't just
the first down.
Oh, he did.
Just letting the clock run.
But you can't let the clock run now.
I think Cliff wants to make sure he's got that timeout for the field goal.
So from right here, you have 3 plays.
No, he doesn't. You just clock it.
Does.
You throw in the end zone.
Running the ball, man.
He's fine. Now you call timeout, and then you have 3 plays.
I mean, you don't, because what if Kyler Murray takes a sack? Then you're done. Like
or you throw a pass that somehow short of the goal line, which would be insane.
Yeah, that I would have called or spiked it after the last first down there.
Or if Murray takes off running and someone makes a great tackle at the 1 yard line, you're done. Like this is insane.
So 15 seconds. I mean, he's going to take it's second and goal. They're going to take two shots in the end zone and kick the field goal.
Yeah. Murray's limping.
Yeah, we're all limping, Breech. It's late.
Yeah, but we're not all playing the Packers in the fourth quarter. 15 seconds left with second and goal.
Maybe he's setting up the Packers defense.
Oh my God, what are you doing? This guy's playing for a field goal.
Oh, he's
2 shots in the end zone and field goal.
Yeah, that's what everyone on planet Earth would be doing. I don't understand what you're saying.
No. If you call a timeout, you could have run more plays and had.
Yeah, he should have called it at 24 or whatever it was. I agree with that.
He's going to get sacked here, and this game's going to end.
Or is he going to throw a touchdown?
That's a pick.
It's a touchdown for the other team.
Oh my God,
Rasul Douglas.
The receiver wasn't even turned around.
Now, who was that receiver that didn't turn around? AJ Green. Way to go, Breech.
God, wow. Bengals legend AJ Green, second best Bengals wide receiver in franchise history behind Jamar Chase.
Wow. I think it's like Chris.
Wow.
Baldwin. Why didn't he turn around? Now
what just happened there?
They killed Kyler Murray.
So just to be clear, they lost. Kyler Murray got hurt.
And AJ Green
decided not to turn
what
around.
What is he doing?
What is he doing?
Oh, I think
is there screen that way or something?
What a play by Rasul Douglas.
That's defensive pass interference all day.
Yeah,
long.
I was gonna say he's got his arms wrapped around him.
I'm kidding. I was totally kidding. Are you serious? I was totally joking. You can't call pass interference.
2000 kicked in. He's like,
if the receiver doesn't turn around,
what happened? Like, how does Kyler Murray?
Wait, why is that Kyler's fault?
No, I'm saying, how does that happen? How does Kyler Murray and AJ Green on the same page on a play like that?
Well, if you're the quarterback, I would imagine you'd think the receiver would turn around if he's running around into the end zone. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. You're thinking AJ Green is turning around to make the catch. That's a touchdown if he turns around.
I'm gonna hit him in the head.
If he whips around if he whips around, it's a touchdown.
That's the craziest. That's the weirdest thing I've seen in quite some time.
And Kyler's hurt. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, not to make too big a deal. It looked like he just tweaked his ankle there at the end there. I don't think
he already had a shoulder injury and he's got his finger taped off. That's not.
Yeah,
I
think the finger.
You're 7-1. You're 7-1. You're fine. Under hits. Packers cover.
I don't know if you're fine.
Aaron Jones over receiving yards hit. The old Brinson Thursday night sweep, Breech.
You're 3-0, baby. You're 3-0 in your last three Thursday nights, I believe. Because I'm 0-3.
That was bonkers. I can't believe that just happened. I mean,
that's
the play they called coming out of a timeout. That's the embarrassing part.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Wow.
Well,
all right. You guys want to fire up? You want to chat for a minute? What do you want to do?
Debo's ready.
Find out if we blame AJ Green, Cliff Kingsbury, or Kyler Murray.
Why are you not blaming AJ Green?
Because he played that like he thought it was a run play.
Well, then he didn't hear the play call correctly, if I had to guess. Everyone else knew what it was, including Rasul Douglas.
And guess what, Brinson? That's why you game theory and play for the field goal.
They should have kicked the field goal.
It all comes back.
Dag nabbit. Why didn't they kick the field goal?
Wow.
Why didn't they kick the field goal?
Oh, Lord.
Okay, you guys want to do this? Or I guess I don't have to wait for Debo or anything.
Do we have any other options?
Oh, wait. Is Debo not here? Is he doing something else?
No, he's here.
Oh.
Hurry up and go.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Go.
I was just making sure Wilson and Breech weren't yapping around. You guys good? Good?
AJ.
Yeah, good.
Did AJ Green have a stroke?
Get over. Oh, yeah, poop. I did good tonight. I didn't get AJ Dillon didn't catch any receiving.
I will say that the official newsletter kicker prop hit once again.
What is that?
Over 2.5 extra points for Mason Crosby, plus 105. Boom.
Guess
All
who's
right,
not happy about the way this ended? Petey
What's
Prisco.
that?
I just put something in Slack. Petey Prisco is not happy about how this game ended.
How? Why?
The bastardization of situational football is undefeated.
Why does he keep tweeting bastardization?
That's his
That's-
favorite word.
That's 11:23, so I don't know what happened then. Maybe he's talking about it at the other end.
No, he's talking about the Cardinals. He was complaining about on text.
At 11:23, wasn't that when the Packers were down there and went for it on fourth? I bet that's what it is.
All right, let's do this podcast.
Let's go.
All right. 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host. It is probably Friday, October 29th. If you are listening to this podcast, if you are watching with us live on YouTube, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but we do have a live YouTube show for every Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday night recap, and Thursday at 1 p.m., we do picks live on YouTube. And now recently added Tuesday at 1 p.m., the one, the only, Ryan Wilson, hosting an NFL mock draft show Tuesday, 1 p.m. live YouTube exclusive. So if you're listening, throw us a bone, go to YouTube, youtube.com/pick6, hit the subscribe button, press the little bell button. You'll get alerts when we go live. Or if you are currently watching on YouTube, press the like button. If we get to a certain number of likes, Debo will authorize a giveaway. If it were up to me, I would just give stuff away, but it's not up to me. Debo in charge. So we may give away a pint glass. Why don't we have a Debo? Why don't we have a tiered giveaway system tonight? Pint glass. Pint glass.
Can I win that?
No,
Yeah.
you're not eligible, nor is your child or your wife. Please don't ask again. Joining me to break down the game, Ryan Wilson and John Breech. What's up, fellas?
Hey. Breech and I missed out. We both had the Cardinals winning that game and covering. We both got slapped around. And has been the case, Breech, the last 3 Thursday nights, Brinson has been, he's victorious. He's 3-0.
Well, that didn't bode well for my Sunday picks.
Yeah, it's a good start for us and a good start for you for now.
Both weeks, I was like, man, I hit the Thursday night game. I had to get loose.
And shout out to Jason Lockenfora, who was the only one who took the Packers straight up.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't do that.
By the way, coming into this game, I was 6-0-1 picking Packers games this season. Unbelievable.
This is my favorite little subplot of 2020.
Subtweet of the Pick Six podcast.
Subplot. Like Wilson has I've worked with you for 15 years. You have never cared about your spread record. Zero cares about your spread record. Nor like if somebody mentioned it, you're like, whatever. Now you're doing deep dives into what your record is on Packers games.
That's because someone tweeted that place always that tweets when I'm in first place every week. They tweeted that out before the game.
Okay,
That's the only reason I know that.
Or Wilson literally has a chalkboard, 32 chalkboards in his basement where he documents each time he gets a point spread pick right for each team.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
That's my theory.
That wouldn't be surprising at this point, to be perfectly honest. So
You just went for the Packers, though.
the Green Bay Packers. And by the way, we'll on these Thursday night, Monday night, and maybe Sunday night games, we will go live early if the game is good and it's enjoyable at the end. So if you're, again, that's why you turn on alerts. You can come hang with us before the game ends. Then we do the show, and then we'll do a little overtime afterwards, depending on if we got interest in the chat for that or not. But this game ended. Green Bay Packers 24, Arizona Cardinals 21. The Cardinals fall to 7-1. There are no more undefeated teams left in the NFL. Week
Yikes.
8.
That's a pretty good run.
Oh, yeah. 7-0 is pretty good. Would not have pegged the Cardinals. You probably made some money if you picked the Cardinals to do that. The Green Bay Packers moved to 7-1 as well. And I believe that would, it is right, isn't it? Did
Yep.
NFL didn't update their standings that quickly.
We're both 7-1.
I know. Yeah. So Green Bay now the number 1 seed in the NFC, Arizona the 2 seed, Tampa the 3 seed at 6-1, Dallas the 4 seed at 5-1, the Rams the 5 seed at 6-1. Clearly that stuff can change as we go into Sunday's action and then out of that. But this is a huge win for the Packers, bottom line. I think it's an obvious takeaway. They lost Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard, their 1 and 2 wide receivers, to COVID issues. Aaron Rodgers now moves since the start of 2019 to 7-0 when he doesn't play with Devontae Adams, which is really impressive because Devontae Adams is arguably the best wide receiver in football, but probably a top 3 or certainly a top 5 wide receiver.
Number 2 behind Jamar Chase.
Maybe. And we got this amazing I hear that people in art circles and professional ink circles are calling this surprised Ryan Finley, this photo of Aaron Rodgers lying on his side.
I'll be honest with you. I saw this picture and I said, now that's something I wouldn't mind having on my arm. But again, we're still waiting for Breech. Oh, by the way, shout out to our buddy who tweeted that at us. Let me see real quick. You can keep talking, I'll find it.
Okay. Am I supposed to keep talking?
Yeah, keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, like Wilson was saying, shocked Aaron Rodgers. I thought that Rodgers was, you could tell how much this game meant to him. I thought because of the way that he was reacting when various receivers were not making plays. And by various receivers, I mean Amari Rodgers and Winfrey, who's first Jalen Winfrey, baby.
Sure. I thought he played pretty well, having never heard of him prior to 8 p.m. tonight.
For sure. But my point is that those two guys had played 39 snaps combined coming into this game in their NFL careers. Rodgers is a rookie, and he has all 39 offensive snaps. Winfrey, I don't think he played an offensive snap in his career. And they're out on the field on Thursday Night Football against an undefeated team, playing with Aaron Rodgers. And Rodgers was like doing he
was big time in him.
Yeah. It doesn't. Look, he knows what he's doing. He's a good quarterback. Aaron Jones ended up being the leading receiver. Cash that prop, baby. Moved from 35.5 up to 44.5. Still covered. He got 51 yards. Honestly, you look at the Packers and not really an impressive offensive output. A.J. Dillon, the leading rusher, 16 carries, 78 yards. Aaron Rodgers, 22 or 37, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. They got some beneficial field position. And I think you have to credit the offensive. I think if I was giving credit for this win to various Packers position groups, number 1 would be the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 would be the offensive line. And number 3 would be the running backs, because the offensive line blocked well. The running backs fought hard.
Number 4 would be the secondary.
Yeah, for sure. The defense played awesome for the Packers. The running backs fought for extra yards, and the defensive line with Kyler Murray dealing with a third string center really, really got after the presumptive MVP favorite, who probably is no longer in that discussion. Really, he's top 5, but still.
He's in the discussion, but yeah, no, I think that's right. Here's my takeaway. I think you hit all the high points, and I think that's correct. Huge win for the Packers. My Super Bowl hopes are still alive, Packers versus Bills. But we, going forward, cannot make any more excuses for teams that have injuries.
Sure. I'm laughing at a YouTube comment. They just found out
Jake,
what Breech looks like.
For those listening on their earphones, Jake Benniger leaves in the comments, holy ish, first time tuning into the YouTube video, and this is not what I expected Breech to look like. Fair enough.
That sounds like something Sean Wagner McGuff would say.
Yeah. But I think if you're not without Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard and Jair Alexander's on IR, Kevin King's not out there, and you have Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones and a guy named Winfrey who's never played before, Amari Rodgers who hasn't played very often, defensive backs Rasul Douglas who's making plays at the end of the game. I don't think you can make excuses for any other team who has injuries, because to go into Arizona and beat that team that was undefeated and had a high-powered offense and a really good defense and beat them in the way they did, and it wasn't pretty, I think you're right, Brinson, but the time possession was 37-35 to 22-25 in favor of the Packers. They took advantage of 2 turnovers. That Rondale Moore punt muff, I don't know what he knew he touched the ball. So they got the ball down to the 1. Did they end up scoring? Or they touchdown, or did they kick a field goal?
Field goal.
They kicked a field goal.
Ugh. But still, they took advantage of the turnovers when they had the opportunities, and all the credit to them. All the credit to what the Packers were able to accomplish.
Well, Rondale Moore, first of all, might have had the worst game of anyone all year. Not only did he have the muff punt that led to the field goal, didn't the ball bounce off his hands on Kyler Murray's first interception?
That was a tough throw, wasn't it?
No, I mean, it went through the top of his hands, and the Packers intercept. I mean,
he's 5'8".
It was Rondale Moore's
fault.
Sounds
like someone had Rondale Moore higher on the draft board.
No, I mean it was his fault that ball got intercepted. And then after that happened, you had that was the opening possession of the first half. The Packers turned around and drove 14 yards for a touchdown off of that interception. So you look at those.
Breech, sorry, I love the fact you said they drove 14 yards for a touchdown.
Well, I am being
forward 14 yards for a touchdown.
Yes, I'm being facetious. I'm saying that Rondale Moore basically gave the Packers a touchdown because they only had to drive 14 yards to get a score. So his 2 turnovers gave Green Bay 10 points. And so when you talk about a go to the game, I think it has to be him. But you're talking about the Packers here, and I mean, you can't overstate how big of a win this Aaron Rodgers just kind of willing this team to a win. And the fact that this team played hardball with Rodgers over the summer looks so absurd now because there's no other quarterback in the NFL that would have won with 80% of their receiving cast missing. I mean, that's just it. Like Rodgers was just putting every ball where he needed to, running that offense efficiently. And I really think you can count on 3 fingers, maybe, the number of quarterbacks that could have won this game in that situation. This was just a bonkers performance. And Brinson, I know you were saying the Packers offense didn't do much, but what they did do, they had 3 drives in this game that went over 6.5 minutes.
Yep.
And that, that's the key right there. I think those 3 drives went for a total of over 20 minutes when you combine all 3 of them. And that's just on 3 offensive drives. And so
Breech, those 3 drives were almost as much time possession as the Cardinals had all night, 22 minutes.
Exactly. And so now the Cardinals aren't on the field. They can't score points. Boom. I mean, this was just a brilliant game plan. And you have a brilliant quarterback out there running it.
If you watch CBS Sports HQ with myself and John Breech on Thursday afternoon, and you should do that because we're trying to put money in your pocket or whatever we say. And Breech was like, Brinson is on the over, classic Brinson. Or no, Brinson's on the under, classic Brinson. I'm on the over here. I said, no, the Packers are the slowest paced team in all of professional football. I am on the under. That under doesn't hit not for those 3 drives. When Rodgers gets that clock down under 5 seconds on every single play.
I mean, I don't know if I'm bragging about betting the under here. The Packers literally got stopped at the 1 yard line with 2 minutes left. And then AJ Green doesn't understand that you're supposed to turn around when a pass is thrown to you.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
Did the under hit or the over hit?
I mean, the under hit.
All right.
Just not one I would brag about.
Doesn't matter how you get there.
Hey, I'll brag about any win. I don't care. At this point, I'll brag about any win.
By the way, we'll see. We'll continue to test this theory of playing with guys.
Korean baseball overnight. You're going to hear about it tomorrow.
Maybe that's your niche, Korean baseball. I think Robert Tonyan may be out for a while too. That's also another concern because he jacked up his knee and didn't look good.
A couple of different injuries. Robert Tonyan and Chase Edmonds both looked like they were hurt. And Kyler Murray, by the way, appeared to be, limping off the field and, also dealing with a shoulder injury.
He ran a lot, much more than we'd seen him run all season. He still only ran for 21 yards, but he had 6 quote unquote carries. And, early in the game, he ran the ball and Troy Aikman's like, yeah, he's really protecting himself. It looked like he took a hit square in the kidneys. And that was early in the game. And he already had his finger taped up, his pinky finger in his thrown hand. I think that probably affected the way he threw the ball because he missed Christian Kirk down the field on what should have been probably a touchdown. He overthrew some guys, although he made I tell you what, that route that Trey Hopkins ran in the first quarter against Eric Stokes ran a 4.2 something at the combine.
Spun around.
I've never seen a guy do a double move with the ball in the air, and that's exactly what Trey Hopkins did before he was unceremoniously flagged for face mask. Come on, you can't call.
Well, I mean, it's crazy.
Wilson was complaining about the face mask because he picked the he
was already in the end zone. Come on.
Oh my God, you're ridiculous.
Well, Hopkins caught that. It was a 55-yard catch. That was 56% of the Cardinals' yardage in the entire first half was that one play. That tells you they didn't do anything after that touchdown. They only had 98 total yards and 55 of it came on that play. So
The Packers defense somehow got it. It doesn't make sense to me. Joe Barry, the defense coordinator, he was out with COVID, so they had other guys helping. But we just talked. The secondary played well, as Brinson mentioned. The front four played well. We hadn't seen that all year. Let me see. The Packers defense was 24th according to Football Outsiders coming into that. The Cardinals defense was second, and the Cardinals defense looked like it had never seen a running back or how to tackle one.
JJ Watt. I tried to say this on HQ earlier on Thursdays.
I don't know.
JJ Watt matters for the run, for stopping the run.
I guess, but I mean,
He's playing good football.
I know, but they had Chandler Jones. They got
Chandler Jones is not like an elite run stuffer. I mean,
he's back, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm just saying, JJ Watt. The way JJ Watt plays, he is, even if he's not putting up big numbers and making eye-popping, interceptions of Andy Dalton in playoff games, he is a guy that can really step up and help stop the run. He's good.
They look worse than the Packers defense had ever looked at all this season. That's what was troubling.
Well, and but knocking the Cardinals defense isn't necessarily fair because the Packers got 10 points on 2 combined drives where they drove 14 yards. So,
but they struggled to stop the run.
I mean,
in the middle of the field,
it wasn't great. It definitely wasn't great, but they scored 24 points and 10 of them were gifted by Rondale Moore. So
I'm not worried so much about the score, but just the eyeball test of watching them struggle to get off the field.
I thought that the Cardinals offense really struggled after DeAndre Hopkins left the game. I think he got injured. Hamstring injury with about 8 minutes left in the first quarter. And I don't think he came back until the fourth quarter. And coincidentally, when he was out in the second and third quarters, the Cardinals basically did nothing. So maybe, that's the guy Kyler looks to when he's in trouble. That's his favorite target. And you take him out of the equation, and all of a sudden it looked like he didn't know what to do when Hopkins was out.
Well, one of his receivers doesn't even turn around when the ball's thrown his way. So I can understand why he would be wanting Hopkins out there.
Well, I mean, one of the things I was sort of thinking about, and I was trying to find a way to tweet it, but it just didn't look like it wouldn't give me a good tweet, but not the way to talk about it on here. We forget like how fragile NFL rosters are. When we look at the Cardinals, we're like, man, this team has Rondale Moore as their 5th or 6th option. This is a loaded roster. And then all of a sudden DeAndre Hopkins goes down. And if your wide receivers are AJ Green, Christian Kirk, Rondale Moore,
and Zach Ertz actually played. He 4 targets, 4 catches.
That's a above average good pass catching core.
Yeah, it's really good.
No. I mean, all I'm saying is if you take Hopkins out, all of a sudden this becomes kind of a I don't know.
B. It's a B.
B. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but it's not undefeated.
No.
Trying to be number 1 seed in the NFC.
It's funny you mentioned this when we were on HQ on Wednesday, like the lack of Larry Fitz maybe opens things up for these guys. I wonder if Kyler wanted Larry Fitzgerald out there once Trey Hopkins went out, because at least he's a reliable guy that is going to catch the ball and he's going to be where he's going to be. He might even turn around for passes that you throw to him.
Yeah, he's old. He's got a serious show. They didn't want him there.
All right.
I don't know. He's probably not going to muff a punt.
Look,
cause an interception.
Rondale Moore's a rookie. Settle down. They like Rondale Moore.
Those are rough mistakes. Can't have those when you're playing a team that's.
What's worse, making physical mistakes or not turning around for a football that's thrown to you? You've been in the league for 20 years.
I would say the second one.
Right.
I can't believe AJ Green. I can't wait to hear the explanation. We don't know what the explanation is right now, whether he didn't know the play call or he just didn't turn around. But this final play of the game, the Cardinals called a timeout. So they literally had a timeout to talk over what they were going to do. Kyler Murray throws a pass to AJ Green, who never turns around. His back is to the ball. And was it Russell Douglas? Who was that?
Yeah, Russell Douglas. You got it.
Russell Douglas. Why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll talk about the end of game situations.
I'd hate for you to start something you can't stop.
You're insane. Something is here.
So, 2 possible questions about the end of the game. One, which we discussed on the pregame or the pre-show live stream, which you guys berated me on because Wilson can't imagine that I would have any concept of game theory. The Packers have so they have 3rd and 1, third and goal at the 1 yard line. After Aaron Jones they think they scored, the game's probably over. They rule that it's not a touchdown. They get a false start. They back it up 3rd and 6. Aaron Rodgers runs it. gets tackled just short, a yard short. There's 4th and 1 at the goal. They go for it on 4th and 1, and they don't get it. The debate amongst us was, do you kick to go up 6 or do you go for it to go up 10? My assertion, if you don't mind,
5-cent word.
What's that?
Is that a 5-cent word? Go ahead.
Is that if you go for it, you're up 10, and the game is probably over at that point. It's effectively over at that point. If you and the other thing about that is, if you go for it and don't get it, it brings into play for Cliff Kingsbury and the Cardinals the possibility that they would kick a field goal instead. Like they're not going to force themselves to go for a touchdown. If they're down 6, there's only one outcome: either they don't score, either they score, or they don't score. And that's sort of my argument. Is you can't. I'm not saying he's like luring him into a honey trap, like a honey pot of kicking a field goal. I'm just saying, if you're Cliff Kingsbury, you know in the back of your head that you can kick a field goal, and you may be less aggressive pushing the ball down the field once you cross midfield and get into field goal range. And that's what I was trying to say in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
But so how do we assess what they did on 4th down there? I mean, you could do the delay of game on 3rd and 1 is really bad. Like,
we're talking. I thought you meant the. I thought you meant the
Packers first.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's borderline unacceptable. And then 4th down, the ball was batted down at the line, or in the backfield or whatever. I'm fine with them going for it. Breech and I both were fine with them going for it because you still. I mean, if you go up a field goal and then what? Or you go up 6 points, you allow them to come down there and score the game-winning touchdown, which we'll get to in a second. They had a chance to do
for sure.
Yeah, all I said was it's not crazy to kick the field goal, but obviously if you score the touchdown, the game's over, and that's what you want. You want to be, and you have to go 1 yard to end the game. As a head coach, I think my only concern would have been that my quarterback just got rocked. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, 3rd and goal from the 5, scrambles, tries to get in the end zone, and he gets rocked by at least 3 guys. I mean, he got jacked up. He was a little woozy getting up, and it was like, there's no timeouts. There's no time for him to recover. He has 40 seconds to run the next play. And so your banged up quarterback has to like kind of digest everything. And Aaron Rodgers, obviously one of the best in the game, but if he didn't look like he was maybe 100% for that play. And so that would have been my only concern as the coach. But yeah, I mean, just the delay of game. Prisco's complaining about the Packers and the game there. I'm sure that's what he's complaining about because you can't have the delay game. That's inexcusable. They had 3rd and goal at the 1 yard line, got delay a game. Now they're at 3rd and goal at the 6 or 5.5 or whatever it was. And then on 4th and 1 or 4th and goal from the 1 yard line, Rodgers ended up throwing an incomplete pass to his boy Randall Cobb, who had a huge game with 2 touchdowns, but did not get a 3rd one. And that is where, I mean, that was the start of the drama, that 4th and 1 play. It was like, oh my God, Rodgers is going to throw the bass, even though he got crushed in the last play, incomplete. And now Arizona has it, and they only need a field goal.
Did also on 3rd and 2, let's see, on 2nd, this is with about 7 minutes left in the game. This started on 2nd and 6 at the Arizona 40 with Green Bay up 3 points. Aaron Rodgers hits Winfrey for 4 yards. That's when he fumbled it, but like maybe secretly kicked it out of bounds. Like he was like kind of flopping at it, and it ended up going out of bounds. He got lucky because that would have been a touchdown for the Packers if he hadn't fumbled. Might have been a touchdown for the
right, exactly. The ball had missed
the other way for the Cardinals if it stays in bounds.
Right.
They get up to the line of scrimmage with 6:29 remaining. Don't run a play and call a timeout. Which, like whatever. Make sure you get your plays in.
That's their last timeout, I believe. Is that right?
No. The second timeout. Then the next play is a 3rd and 2. Aaron Jones runs up the middle to the Arizona 28 for 8 yards. They run the clock down again at 5:41. Call a timeout. That's where you sort of lose me on this timeout usage because you pick up the 3rd down. You need to have that 1st down play, even if it's just you're just running Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon up the middle on that 1st down. And they ended up doing that after the timeout, and Aaron Jones got 16 yards, and that's great. And you say, all right, you use the timeout, but those timeouts could have been used when they were closer to the goal line to make sure they didn't get a delay a game. It's almost like they were being, and this is good. I realize you can, say don't brag about the under or whatever, Breech, but this goes back to they are so methodical normally. And I think they were being extra methodical because they didn't have Devontae Adams or Alan Lazard and knew that if they shrunk the game and forced Kyler Murray to sort of press, they might be able to steal one here. And they did just that. But
I think it's still fair to ask what the hell's going on with the timeout usage.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think that in that situation, because Aaron Rodgers called that one, and it was almost like he was saving Matt LaFleur from himself. Because so you have a 3rd and 2. If you take the delay game there and you don't call the timeout, it's 3rd and 7. And say you only get 1 or 2 yards the next play to throw an incomplete pass. Now you've put your coach in a situation where it's 4th and 7. Does he try a 57-yard field goal, or do you go for it on 4th and 7, or do you punt? I think that would have been from the Cardinals' 40-yard line. So like it would have been a very dicey situation. Rodgers is smart. I'm going to use my timeout. We're not moving back 5 yards from here. We're going to fix this on 3rd and 2. Because from the Cardinals' 40-yard line, 4th and 7, what do you think the Packers are doing? Punt, field goal, or go for it?
Well, that actually leads me to my question that I ask often. Do we know if Matt LaFleur is a good coach? Like, I have no idea.
I mean, he had. I don't think it's fair to suggest that Matt LaFleur is a bad coach, because he is
he a good coach?
Now, I think 33-7 to start his career in 3 years, which is
he's ahead of Don Shula, Chuck Knox, and George Seifert to start his career.
Probably ahead of, yeah. I mean, is there anybody he's not ahead of?
No, he's number 1.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like your buddy who married rich. You know, like, I mean, it's like, is he a good, like, is he a handsome, good husband and father? Like, well,
Right
I
place.
don't know, but
Right
he's
place,
got
right time.
resources. Like,
Well, I mean, do you think if Aaron Rodgers quits at halftime, that the Packers are winning this game with Jordan Love, the hand-picked successor?
But nobody is.
Well, I mean, that's the point, is that Rodgers carries this team. I mean, he's been playing his best football since LaFleur got there. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe LaFleur has inspired him. And if that's the case, then you have to give him all the credit. But I think that Aaron Rodgers deserves a ton of the credit, because if you take him off this football team, what do you think the record is right now? It's not 7-1. It's probably, it's not good. So that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think both of these teams are. I mean, both of these teams are playoff bound. And you can see on the YouTube show, yes, 33-7. He has an 82.5 winning percentage in the first 2.5 years of his career. It's not. Now, I think it is also interesting that the number 4 guy on this list, who you didn't mention, George Seifert.
I mentioned him.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear that. George Seifert, incredible winning percentage. Won 80% of his games to start his first 40.
Who's his quarterback?
Yeah, like LaFleur took over this
inherited a gold mine from Bill Walsh.
Correct. Now, look.
Well, Don Shula, I believe, when he started was with the Colts. I think he had Johnny Unitas. That's me trying to rack my old man brain. I think because he started with the Colts. And Chuck Knox, he must have been way before. I'm trying to think who he started with. I don't know that answer.
But I mean, look, when LaFleur came in, everyone was like, "Oh, LaFleur and Rodgers going to hate each other?" And we were trying to find drama, and these guys have succeeded. And Aaron Rodgers won the MVP last year and put up a monster campaign. And Matt LaFleur has, with the exception of the NFC title game where Rodgers met him, has generally won him over.
Yeah, but I think that's fair to ask, only because I'm trying to look up who Chuck Knox's quarterback was. I don't even recognize this guy's name. 1973. Because it felt like that Aaron Rodgers didn't go along with anybody, so it wouldn't have mattered unless they brought in Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's, Bernie Lomax, to coach the team. There was going to be some friction, but I will give Matt LaFleur credit. He doesn't back down from Aaron Rodgers, at least on the sidelines, and maybe Aaron Rodgers appreciates that. We haven't seen Aaron sort of go through he's not making faces at Matt LaFleur like he makes at the rookie wide receivers.
Agreed. All right. So what do we think about the top of the NFC? Because I don't think it's necessary to really hash out where do we go from here with the Packers? Where do the Cardinals go from here? If we find out that Aaron Rodgers, if Kyler Murray, if we find out Kyler Murray is hurt, that changes things. But in terms of the NFC, what do we think about these top teams and how they sort out, specifically the top 5 or maybe 6 teams?
Before we move on to that, did we talk about what we still haven't talked about what AJ Green was doing? Did we?
Well, he hasn't explained it. We need a coach or someone post game to just throw him under the bus, or to say.
I mean, that's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in a football game, where the people were over the age of 8.
That's why the Bengals let him walk. That is why the Bengals let him walk.
Do we know who the backup quarterback is without looking for the Cardinals? He came in last week.
He is. No, we don't.
Breech? 3, 2.
He got signed last week, you said?
No, he played last week against the Texans in that beatdown.
No, I don't think I know.
Colt McCoy.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I should have known that. We saw him on DFS earlier.
So anyway, you mentioned what does the NFC look like? I feel like, just looking at the top 7 guys, if you watch on YouTube, you can see all the teams: Green Bay, Arizona, Tampa Bay, Dallas, the Rams, the Saints, and the Vikings are all.
No, don't include the Vikings in that. And maybe.
What do you mean? Why not? I think these are the teams that are going.
No, probably. I was saying okay. Let's figure out who is in the. If you're picking out,
let's rank our top 5.
No, elite teams. It's not even your top 5.
I'm ranking my top 5.
You can make it 2 teams. You can make it 1 team. You can make it 6 teams. You can do whatever you want.
I'm doing top 4.
Okay? Pick who's your elite tier of top 5? Who's your elite tier?
Well, like I told you at the top, my Super Bowl picks are still alive: the Bills and the Packers. So, just with the NFC, obviously the Packers. I think Arizona's still there. Tampa Bay, Dallas, and I'll stop at those 4. Like the Rams, I'd like, but I don't love. They sometimes don't blow the teams that they should blow out, and sometimes they don't play at the level I expect them to. So I think I like Dallas a lot. Their defense is probably slightly overrated, but it's still not heads and tails. It's leaps and bounds. That's what I was looking for. Better than it was a year ago. Tampa Bay, I'm not betting against Tom Brady. What I learned tonight is Green Bay, you don't bet against them, especially if Devontae Adams isn't playing, because now they're 7-0 without Devontae Adams. And I like the Cardinals if they're healthy. But I think that the overarching story for me is you can't use injuries as an excuse anymore, because the Packers just showed you can win with 3.5 guys.
Yeah. I like your top 4, Wilson, but I'm going to go with my top 5. Hashtag Breech is best. That's going to be trending tomorrow on Twitter, I bet.
All right.
I don't even have it in the order of the NFC playoff standings. I am sticking with that Cowboys at number 1.
What are you doing?
The Cowboys are my top team. I've been saying it the last few weeks. I'm sticking with
the last year.
Cowboys at 1, Packers at 2, Buccaneers at 3, Cardinals at 4, Rams at 5. That's my top 5.
All right, fair enough.
I'm not doing a top 5. See, but you didn't do the exercise as requested.
What was the exercise as requested?
Who are your elite?
Yeah, those 5. Those 5 teams are making the playoffs.
Well, that's the difference. So for me, I would say it is Tampa Bay, Green Bay. This is going to sound disrespectful, but I don't care. Tampa Bay, Green Bay, the Rams, and Dallas are in the first tier. And now that the Cardinals have won, I can move them down a slight tier. They're in a tier. They're in a tier by themselves in the second tier. I just have questions. The Cardinals have let people down before, especially at the end of the year. So I want to see how they respond to this. I want to see how healthy Kyler Murray is. They tanked pretty bad when Kyler Murray got hurt last year.
They were 5-2 last year, and they finished 8-8.
Right, exactly. So let's.
And this is the exact same thing that happened. Kyler Murray got banged up. Yes. Hashtag Breech is best. Kyler Murray got banged up, and then they struggled down the stretch. So if this is any sort of, it doesn't even have to be a serious injury. If it's something that hampers him either running or hampers him throwing, then they're in trouble.
Correct. And so and the Cardinals have played not a ton of division games. No, Timothy. Somebody in YouTube chat says so much disrespect to Arizona. It's none, but it's a little
I think Timothy's right. I think we're not you, because I still had them number 2. I think you might be overreacting to this loss. It wasn't even a bad loss. They lost by 3 points. Granted, the team was undermanned on the other side of the ball, but Aaron Rodgers was still there.
Ryan, can I ask you one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
This reminds me, this is going to be your Browns-Broncos question from a couple Thursday games ago. At any point in this game, after the Packers took the lead, did you think the Packers were going to lose?
No.
Okay.
But that's just the way that Aaron Rodgers came out. Also, one of the things we talk about in these types of games is that if the Packers are down 14 points at halftime, Aaron Rodgers is going to quit. So maybe that was the pep talk they gave before the game, and Aaron said, listen, if you guys goof off and get it down by 2 scores, I'm out at halftime. So they're like, all right, we'll play. But no, you're right. I didn't feel like that. But they also, look, they whooped up on Cleveland, Arizona did, 37-14. They beat the Rams by 17 points. They beat the Titans in week 1. That was a different Titans team, of course. And they beat the Vikings by 1 point.
That they should have lost on a field goal that the kicker missed from inside 35 yards.
But again, that's like to Brinson's point. The under still hit. I mean, you can't help AJ Green not turn it around. It is what it is. But they blew out the other teams, the Browns, the Titans, and the Rams, and that's noteworthy when their only loss is by, what was it, 3 points or whatever?
Yeah.
Tonight.
No, in fact, maybe it's even maybe the way I'll do it is I'm going to put Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and the Rams in
All the bays.
What's that?
You're just gonna ride all the bays.
Bays tier? Yeah. This is called Bayesian game theory.
Classic
Brinson.
Brinson.
Oh, look at he just looked that up. Way to go.
I just did it off the cuff. I don't even think I'm Bayesian. Come on, man. So I'm gonna put Tampa. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna do Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and the Rams in the top tier by themselves. And the reason I'm including them there is that we have seen all three of those teams in the last 3 years advance to a deep point of the playoffs. Right? Like the Rams went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. The Packers have been to back-to-back NFC championship games. The Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. And then I'm going to put right below them in a second tier, two really good teams with one loss, the Cowboys and the Cardinals. But I need to, you got to see it, got to validate it. After that, I'm going to have New Orleans in its own tier because I trust Sean Payton and I don't trust Jameis Winston, but they are 4-2 and they have such a leg up on these other teams. And
Well, I just the Debo just took the graph down, but I defy you to find a team that's going to threaten the Saints for either the 6th or 7th spot.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Saints are definitely going to the playoffs. That's why they're in their own tier.
Yeah.
And then I think basically you can say Minnesota, Carolina. And Minnesota's probably the best team out of, but Minnesota, Carolina, Chicago, Atlanta, or maybe it's Minnesota with New Orleans.
Why are you talking Carolina?
Well, bring the graphic back up, Debo.
You think? But my point is, like, you think they have a chance?
No, not at all.
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, by virtue of the numbers, they do.
Well, right. As we sit
You're
here,
going to show YouTube comments, so you can't bring it back up. All right. All right. Here's what I'll do. Three teams up top, the Bays plus the Rams. The tier 2 is the Cowboys and the Cardinals. Tier 3 is the Vikings and the Saints.
all right. Let
And
me
then
ask you
after
this: tier. Just wait a second. Tier 1, just on aggregate, what the chances those three teams collectively go to the Super Bowl?
Oh, I don't know, probably like 25% or 30%.
So what's tier 2? Because that's the Cardinals and the Cowboys. So two teams that I think should be pretty close to that percentage.
I was aggregating the three together.
Oh no, like you feel like there's a 75% chance that the Rams go or the whatchamacallits go or whoever else is in there.
Of those three teams, I think it's probably closer to so Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and the
LA.
Rams. Green Bay, Tampa Bay, LA. That's right. I think there is if you gave me whatever the odds were for a 50% chance that one of those teams goes, I would absolutely take it.
All right. And what about the Cardinals?
Arizona, Dallas, probably 25 combined.
All right.
I mean, you wouldn't take Arizona and Dallas. You wouldn't take Arizona, Dallas, and New Orleans against Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and the Rams.
No, of course not.
Exactly.
I mean, I'd take the field against those three.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So in that third tier, I'm going to go New Orleans and Minnesota because, in my opinion, this next tier, which is basically is a big glob of teams: Atlanta, Chicago, Carolina. I have to put San Francisco there right now. I think they're better than those other teams, but I don't. Washington, Philly. They're all in this fourth tier
which is shaped like a turd emoji.
That's right. It's a swirly poop emoji. But like if one of those teams got hot and just ripped off some wins, all of a sudden they could seal a playoff berth for Minnesota.
There's one team that can get hot. You want to guess?
49ers?
Stop it.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
I think it's the Falcons. I think that's it.
Falcons. That's fine.
But that's still.
Who did the Falcons just play in the last two games?
No. They beat the Dolphins by the skin of their teeth. I don't know who they played before that. Who they played before that?
At this point, I can't remember who.
The Jets.
Oh, that's right. In London, right? Was that in London?
They beat the Jets in London. They beat the Falcons barely,
and then they also beat the Giants. Those are their three wins.
Yeah, I mean the Panthers.
Breech punted in college.
So this is again we're live on YouTube. Sometimes these late night podcasts we look at questions in the chat. Someone named Gord with a Fozzie Bear emoji.
Waka waka waka.
Waka 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 is asking, who are these three guys? How much college and pro ball coaching experience do they have? Well, Gord,
just answer
none.
Hold on, but wait. Okay.
Breech have coaching experience?
Well, Breech punted in college.
Punted in college.
I played baseball in college. I coached Little League.
I won back-to-back titles with the sorority flag football team in college.
I coached a softball team.
Look,
Yeah,
I'm not taking crap from somebody whose avatar is a Fuzzy the Bear emoji. Like, if you want people to take you seriously, and you jump into a YouTube chat with a Fuzzy Bear emoji, like, who are these guys and what is their?
Yeah, he's just asking a question. He said, "You guys," he didn't say these jabronis or these clowns, which he certainly could have said. I'm fine with him asking the question.
I think the assertion that any of this twice now,
and we learned that you won sorority flag football competition.
Yeah, that's right, twice. Gord's on the ledger, baby.
Gord's
Holiday Inn last night, right?
Yeah.
Waka.
He's good. Thank you, Clarence.
Okay. By the way, hit the like button. Press the like button if you're hanging out in the chat. It takes, I don't know, it's going to take less than a second. Just whoop.
Imagine, look at it this way. How lazy must you be to not be willing to lift a finger to hit the like
Sorry,
button?
Gord. I didn't mean to insult you then. I thought we have no experience is the answer. Sorry.
And Gord, you have to understand, Brinson takes everything as being a personal affront. And I think it just dates back to his childhood. Whereas Breech and I are willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Somebody, hey, Debo, mail Gord a pint glass. Anyway, okay.
So now there's no 150 likes to get a pint glass. It's just insult Brinson, and then when he goes off on you, you get one.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm Team Gord. I'm sorry. Look, man,
I tried to ask it.
I got over my skis on that one. All right, we are at. It looks like we're at 115 likes. If we get to 150, yes, I'm very sensitive. Okay, if we get to 150. If there's more than 150 people watching the show, so press the like button. I even went to the page and pressed the like button myself to get us there because I want y'all to get stuff. If we can get these giveaways out, then we can get better giveaways.
Yeah, Breech is based on please take the crappy gifts so we can get the good gifts out into the.
No, this is a giant pyramid scheme. Exactly, that's what we're running. So
hit 1,000 likes. Brinson will come over to your house.
Oh, no, of course. Oh, God, I thought he was an NC State fan. He's a Green Bay Packers fan.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to insult you, Gord. My apologies. Oh my God, we're all hashtag Gord strong.
I know it's unbelievable. Thank you. If you're
listening, anybody listening to this audio,
the commenters,
the audio people are going to be so confused right now.
Well, the commenters are coming to Gord's defense because Brinson.
Understandably. Gord, I apologize.
3 weeks from now, the higher ups are going to call Debo and be like, all right, we need you to make a YouTube cut and an audio cut. And you're going to add like 6 hours of work to Debo's life.
That's fine. Oh, look, I see those likes going up. Come on, hit that like button. Let's get a pint glass out. You want to add 6 hours of work to Debo's job? Make him mail a pint glass. So, anything else we want to touch on before we dive into a little overtime? Hashtag Gord strong.
How many points did the Packers win that game by if Devontae Adams plays? 40?
This is going to sound crazy. I think that Devontae Adams not being there sort of, sometimes this happens where you sort of have to recalibrate how you want to approach a game plan.
He was 6-0, Aaron Rodgers was without Devontae Adams.
7-0 now.
Well, it definitely it makes the Packers offense game plan more mysterious because you don't know who Rodgers is going to go to. Yeah, well, exactly.
So to that point, they did a lot of things differently. In the first half, they targeted Aaron Jones had 7 targets in the first half, finished with 11 targets, 7 catches, 51 yards, I believe. He could have had 130 receiving yards in that game. He dropped that long one down the thing where Isaiah Simmons made a great play. Had another one down the field that was dropped, and they decided to AJ Dillon was a big part of this game plan. Like a big part of this game plan. He led the team in, I know he led him in rushing yards. I'm pretty sure he led him in rushing attempts, right? Yeah, he had 16 rushing attempts, 78 yards. Jones had 15 rushing attempts, 59 yards. They decided to put Dillon back there, and they had dialed back after he fumbled last week. They dialed back his snap count, and they put him in there in this game and said, look, man, you're a second year back. You are, a big part of our team moving forward. We need you to run the ball effectively and to fight. He fought for every yard. They ran end arounds with Amari Rodgers. They used unknown wide receivers. They ran the ball. They ran the play clock all the way down on every single play. And I thought it was a very well executed game plan by Green Bay to go into Arizona to shorten the game. The defense played its tail off, and they ran really well. And so that's back to the LaFleur thing. That's good coaching, man.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's hard. You can't tell if he's a bad coach. I just wonder, how good of a coach he is. But whatever, his record speaks for itself, and you are
You are what your record says you are.
as Bill Parcells likes to say. Thank you, Breech.
Boom.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wrap up the podcast in a second. We're gonna look at the games upcoming.
Oh, quickly, I just saw this. This just came out. Cardinals wide receiver AJ Green announced his retirement in the middle of his route during fourth quarter versus Packers. That's from Fake Sports Center on Twitter.
Oh, that was fake, but here's a real quote.
Is that the one you wanted Devo to do earlier?
What we were talking about, we didn't get to it.
Here's a real quote from Cliff Kingsbury, really quick on that play. Kingsbury said,
I'm sorry for AJ Green's family.
He was asked about the play call. He said, quote, "Yeah, I mean, we feel like it's a safe throw. If AJ knew the route to run, it was the right place to go with the ball, just didn't communicate on some level, and then the guy made a good play."
Oh! That was just Kingsbury dunking on AJ Green.
Wait a second. He sort of ran the right route. He just didn't turn around.
I mean,
that's the key part of the route. If you're running,
read the first part of the quote again.
I mean, we feel like it's a safe throw if AJ knew the route to run.
I mean, part of the route is inherently turning around to catch the ball.
Well, yeah, that's what Breech just said. I get that part. I mean,
That's the key part of the route. That's like arguably the most important part of the route.
The man's been running routes. What year was he drafted? 2012, same as Andy Dalton?
2011.
2011. So he's been running routes.
He was drafting
But it's his first year with the Cardinals. So
stop it. He's been running routes for 11.
Taken in
maybe
2011.
he didn't understand the play call, is what I'm saying.
He's been running routes for 11 years.
Him. It's just
he's actually probably been running it for longer than that. But
11 years
played
in
college too.
11 years in the NFL.
AJ Green is a good dude who has had to deal with playing in Cincinnati for his entire career. That's a tough spot to be in. No one wants to do that.
He went to the playoffs 50% of the time during his time in Cincinnati.
He never won a play. He's never won a playoff game in his entire.
He won a playoff game.
He's probably a Hall of Famer. Doesn't have a playoff win. That's hard to do.
That's absurd.
Well, he's trying to keep that streak going with the way he played at the end of that game.
But I always come back to last year in Joe Burrow's rookie year. And look, man, whatever. If the Bengals franchise tag AJ Green kind of stuck him in this bad spot, and he wasn't happy about it. Didn't want to get hurt after he got ripped his leg up at that crappy Dayton field they played on.
Podcast bingo got Brinson to talk about the Bengals.
Good job. But he clearly checked out last year.
Well,
yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
that was a route. That last route tonight looked like a big.
Except the Bengals were bad last year. This is checking out against the 7-1 team on the final play.
The biggest play of the season to debate. That's all I had. I'm glad that Breech got that quote in.
But my point was going to be, we'll talk about the MVP. We'll talk about the games coming up for these teams, and then we're going to do overtime, where we hang out and answer any questions you guys might have about life, love, football, I don't know, White Lotus, whatever. I guess that's old now, but you know what I'm saying. You can answer. You guys any question in the YouTube chat. Drop it in there. We will answer it. Start dropping them now. We'll wrap up this conversation in the podcast, and then we'll do YouTube only answers where we take chat questions. So, and by the way, keep hitting that like button. Somebody said I get paid by the minute. What are we doing here?
Oh God, he'd have been retired years ago if that were the case.
God, I'd be on an island right now. It'd be AJ Greening it on an island, just not looking at anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the Packers, they have coming up on they're off. What up? Wait, the 10-day bye. Sorry, mini bye. They are at the Chiefs, Seahawks at home on November 14th, which we're gonna loosely pencil in Russell Wilson, at the Vikings and Rams at home. Man, that is a brutal 5-game stretch starting with tonight before you get to the bye. This is kind of a key win. I mean, they're a good
Wait
team.
a second. The Chiefs, I mean, we keep propping them
You're
up.
still playing an Arrowhead against Patrick Mahomes.
Have you seen the Chiefs defense?
And Russell Wilson, even if he's back, he's going to have
what's the over under on that Packers Chiefs game?
70.
I don't know though. Brinson just pointed out that they're so slow moving.
The Packers are actually a perfect team to take down the Chiefs. They're not favored in Kansas City, are they?
Wait, the Chiefs have lost 4 times this year.
I mean, would you, if Patrick Mahomes was an underdog at home, would you bet on him or would you take the?
I need to see that. So I mean, if the wins of Wilson spread as we sit here right now is Chiefs -3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's like Chiefs -7 or anything.
Oh
It's
no,
like,
I'm trying to. I
Packers,
mean,
Packers will run all over Kansas City.
so I don't know if I mean you love the Rams more than I do, but that'll be a tough game. But that game's in.
I'm saying that's a Chiefs, Seahawks, Vikings, Rams is not an easy stretch.
All right, so they've already won the Cardinals. So this next 4 games, I feel like 3-1 happens 70% of the time.
That's a great call. I like that.
All right,
They could definitely go 2-2, but I would bank on 3-1.
I mean, we say it's a hard stretch, but only one of those next 4 teams are even above 500. So it's like they feel like very winnable games now. Like at the beginning of the season, maybe not, but now they do.
This 4-game stretch looks a lot easier than it did
even 4 hours ago. Before the Cardinals game, you're like, oh, they're going to lose that game, so now they're really going to have their backs up against it.
Sure. Well,
I mean, I think they go 3-1 or 4-0 here.
Yeah, and they'll have Devontae.
yeah, I guess 2 are the Seahawks and Rams are at home.
They'll have Devontae back. They'll have Lizard Man back. I'm just making.
I'm not saying they're going to lose a bunch of games. I'm just saying that's a.
But I mean, I'm just again speculating. I think Tanya might be out for a while, so I don't know how. By the way, that catch that wasn't a catch by Mercedes Lewis, that was amazing. I wish he just got his big feet inbound, his size 19 feet.
I think it was Ben Gretsch that said, he's like, if somebody catches a ball like that with one hand, the rules should change. You should only have to get 1 foot in as well. I tend to agree with that.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
But so the Packers are, I mean, they're 7-1 because they haven't had their bye yet. If they go worst case, they go 2-2 in the stretch, right?
Feels like it.
So probably gonna be 9-3. Worst case, going to the bye. You're feeling great about the division. You're feeling great about the NFC. You're in a really good position. So let's look at the Arizona Cardinals. As Devo and I both bring it up. Substantially easier, I think, assuming Kyler Murray is healthy. They're at the 49ers.
By the way,
bye.
Breech made that, not Gretsch. You stole Breech's tweet about the one-handed catch.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry.
No, I looked up both, and Gretsch wrote the exact same thing, and we wrote it at the exact same time, both at 9:32 p.m., like at the exact same instant.
Oh, Breech stole it. Never mind.
It's more likely that Breech stole it and tweeted it.
You're right. I take that back. My bad. All right, here we go.
No, I mean, this is the exact same
plagiarism. Breech, you've been outed for plagiarism on national television.
I just showed you both tweets. I wouldn't have done that if that was the case.
We're going to have to look at some metadata. Sorry.
All right.
I mean,
all right, let's finish up the podcast. We'll get to the nonsense afterwards. So, for the Cardinals at San Francisco, which I assume Wilson and Breech believe they will win, versus Carolina and at Seattle. Russ should be back for that at Seattle game.
But what's he going to look like is my question. And just because you have a pen taken out of your surgically repaired finger, I don't know if you're going to look like the quarterback of old.
Oh my God, look at this.
But that Russell Wilson game is after the Packers game. So that first game back with the pin out will probably be against the Packers, maybe not fully healthy, but then the Cardinals is the next week. So he has another week of recovery time. So I think the Cardinals are going to get the better version of Russell Wilson.
Would agree with that.
Unless he gets beaten to death by the Packers defense.
I mean, I think there's an outside shot. This sounds crazy, but I think there's an outside shot that they go 1-2 here.
There's an outside shot, but I mean,
I think 2-1 is probably I think they'll drop one of those division games on the road. They'll beat the Panthers at home. Panthers are terrible. Assuming full Kyler health, it's probably 2-1, possibly 1-2.
Breech, do you know off the top of your head how do the Cardinals usually play against the 49ers? Because I don't. You seem to know those sorts of things.
I do not.
Oh, okay. So sometimes it's a weird sort of matchup.
But I know that Kyle Shanahan does not have a great NFC West record. But I think
don't tell Brinson.
I think these two have been pretty even. I mean, they played earlier this year, and the Cardinals won 17-10.
Yeah, it actually has been pretty even. Going back to 2018, it looks like it is 3.
I mean, it's not a layup game. That's the point, though.
It's 4-3. Going back 2018, the records are 4-3.
It's on the road. They certainly could lose it.
Leaning towards the 49ers. I thought it was one of those things where it was like 8-0 or something.
I think with two division games on the road, if we're assuming Russell Wilson is playing in that Seattle game, I think 2-1 is probably likely.
Yeah. But after the bye, I mean, there's a bunch of layups outside of the Rams game. And the
The
Colts.
final 3 games aren't easy.
No, that's true. And then, but here's the thing.
There's 4 tough games in that stretch. They're definitely going to the playoffs. They're definitely going to the playoffs.
No,
Right?
they're definitely going to the playoffs. So
If they don't go to the playoffs, it would be one of the worst collapses in NFL
All right,
history.
let's play devil's avocado for worst case scenario here.
I hate avocados, and you know who else hates avocados?
Kyler Murray. Exactly. Well, let's play devil's Kyler Murray avocado.
So
They're
listen, they'll
mushy.
get to the bye week with 9 wins. You only need
Let's say they go 1-2 in those 3 games. That's not crazy.
okay. Then you're going to get to 9 wins with the Bears and the Lions,
You're 8-3.
and then you get to 10 wins with the Bears and the Lions by week 15, and then you're in. And at this point,
You're 10-7, which would
You're
be
still-
really disappointing after 7-0, but still.
but I think it not the only thing, but you're not getting home field advantage as the number 1 seed. As we sit here, you need the Packers to lose some games anyway, so you're sort of playing for second place, literally and figuratively. You're playing behind the Packers, so you get into the playoffs at 10 wins, worst case scenario.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And we're not saying that's going to happen with Arizona. Just that, if Kyler's banged up and
Disrespectful to Colt McCoy.
all right, that's it's perfectly respectable. That is the podcast version of the show. Thanks for listening. If you want to hang out with us in overtime live on YouTube, you can do so. YouTube.com/pick6. Hit the like button if you're watching right now. Oh my God. If you're watching on YouTube right now, hit the friggin' like button. We're 6 likes away from a giveaway. Someone can earn a pint glass from this podcast. How dare you? Wilson and Breech, if you hit the like button, go give these people their pint glass.
I've hit it with all 7 of my YouTube accounts.
That is the least surprising thing I've heard tonight, that you have 7 YouTube accounts.
Who doesn't?
Thanks for listening. Come hang out with us on YouTube. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the alarm button, or the alert button. I guess alarm is a bad word. And we'll see you guys in overtime.
Oh,
All right.
one more.
We got there. Way to go, everybody. Somebody gets a pint
Wow.
glass.
Does Brinson drink out of it before we send it? How does that work?
Where's my boy
We're at 152. Are we giving out 2 pint glasses?
Lucas? Did we never get a confirmation that he got his hat? I sent that damn hat. Well, I didn't send the hat. That was gonna be my bit. It's been a week. Wilson,
Yeah, he
Breech?
gave up.
Oh, well, so
He
I
gave
forgot I was supposed to sign the hat before I mailed it, and I
Why
forgot
do you
to
say
sign
that?
it. What?
Why would he ask you to sign it?
I don't know. But actually, this is what I'm going to tell you is I didn't mail it.
Oh, no, someone else did.
Of course.
Yeah.
AK mailed it.
It would never get
Oh.
sent if you were in charge of mailing
Right.
it.
AK mailed it and wrote on it, Lucas, Brinson does in fact suck.
Nice.
So, Mrs. Brinson.
That's hilarious.
Way to go,
He needs to
AK.
keep that part of the message.
Yeah, absolutely.
Write drink in the chat if you want to be eligible to win the pint glass. That's all you have to do. Debo will go back and look at it, and he'll find somebody to give it to.
Yeah, way to go, guys.
I have to pee really bad.
Are we having a separate giveaway for everyone in Canada since Brinson offended our only Canadian listener?
I'm sorry. Gord's on the we can just give Gord
No,
a pint glass.
the whole country.
All right, you guys discuss. What's the tattoo situation?
Waiting for Num Nut Magoo.
I
Jeremy
heard
Clark,
I'm
by the
waiting
way.
for
You
you
were
guys.
told on
Give me an
HQ
idea.
today.
Give me
you
an
were on
idea.
HQ today that you told the staff, the people who work on set, that your wife had nixed the tattoo.
Someone told you a lie. He did not nix it. I mean, why would I not tell you any sort of developments in that
That's
arena?
what they told Breech. I'm just telling you. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
Breech. When's the last time Breech told the truth?
I did no. That's not a first-hand story for me. That's Brinson.
Oh.
Don't get me involved here.
Yeah, it seems like he's making stuff up. Yeah, once again, Jeremy Clark, by the way, shout out to Jeremy Clark, barrister Jeremy Clark, who actually did Breech's work for him in the span of 10 minutes. Did you see those tweets, Breech?
I did. I've got them printed out. That's your tattoo. Put it on your arm. I'll pay Jeremy.
Oh, good. All right. Pay Jeremy. And we'll put that on a dime. I'll put it on my arm. I'll get the rest of my tattoos. Let me find these tweets.
How is your wife really going to feel when you have another man on your arm?
I don't know. She might be okay with it. You know.
Oh, we got a question from the chat about the Bengals. This is going to start a 30-minute.
My God.
Overtime is going to turn into a Bengals podcast.
Evan clearly is a Packers fan, unless he's just trolling you with the Packers avatar. Asks.
No, he clearly thinks the Packers and Bengals are going to play in the Super Bowl.
They're his second favorite team. I see. Okay, he buried the lead there.
So Evan's question is, how many playoff games do the Bengals win this year? They have not won a playoff game since 1991, famously. It's funny. I remember the exact date. It's January 6, 1991. That was their last playoff one. It was against the Houston Oilers, because the next week they lost to the Los Angeles Raiders, which was also Bo Jackson's last game in the NFL because he injured his hip. That game was played on January 13th, 1991, which was my birthday. So the Bengals playoff losing streak started on my birthday. So every time I celebrate a birthday, I get more bitter about it. Now, that being said, I think they win one this year. I think they end the drought. I don't think they make it to the Super Bowl. I'm not going to get that crazy. But I do think they finally win a playoff game.
Okay,
so what say you?
I was half paying attention. Let's look at the so they're currently
number one.
The Ravens are number one.
No, the Bengals are number one.
Not according to Tankathon.
Tankathon must have forgotten about that head-to-head game just happened 4 days ago.
So they have the Ravens, Vegas, and then the Bengals.
It's Bengals, Raiders, Titans, Bills. Ravens are in fifth.
Why are they doing that way? Huh, interesting. Okay, so they have a home field advantage too. So they would play. Who would they play in the first round as we sit here?
Right this second, they would have a bye. They'd get the only bye.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Which would be best case scenario, because then they'd get to the divisional round. They skip the wild card round. That's the one they can't get out of.
You're right. The Tankathon has it the right way. The draft order is different. I don't know why, but whatever. The playoff matchups they have correctly. So it would be, as you mentioned, the Bengals have the bye, and then I'm trying to think. It depends on who would win. So let's say Cleveland plays the Raiders 2 versus 7. So they could potentially play the Browns. Eesh. Titans play the Chargers. They could potentially play the Chargers. Those would be the two. So they could play of the Raiders, Browns, Chargers, Titans. Who did the Bengals want to play after the first round bye?
The Browns.
Fully healthy for all these teams?
I think their best shot. I mean, last year when the Titans made the playoffs and the Bengals only won 4 games, one of their wins was against Tennessee. So, I don't know. I feel like they match up pretty well with any of those teams. Like, there's not a team where I would say they definitely need to avoid them. I don't think I would want
Chargers.
I
wouldn't want to play the Chargers.
I think they do okay against the Chargers.
It would be in Cincinnati in January, though. Although Southern California guys might not be down with it.
Second coldest game in NFL history was against the Chargers, Bengals Chargers, 1981 AFC title game.
Breech was there.
I mean, I say this out of sort of kindness but like right now, Breech, you remind me of an NC State fan.
Oh God.
We're like texting privately about like, oh, I mean, look, if we run the table, the playoffs are, we could go.
By the way, I was, when I was joking with you and Pete and RJ today on the podcast, I did go watch Mississippi State, NC State. I didn't know NC State lost that game. I was watching an offensive lineman from Mississippi State. I looked at the score.
So. You wouldn't think we would have lost it.
Victor Garcia.
The point being is that like I would caution Breech.
Oh, he's fine. He's been down
there.
there.
Answer the question by all means. But you're like, I don't know if there's a team we need to avoid. I do agree that the AFC is wide open right now.
Well, let me ask you this, because you're certainly less malleable than Breech when it comes to Bengals' chances of winning. So Bengals are first seed as we sit here, and here's who they would play as we sit here. Of these 4 teams, who do you want to face in Cincinnati in second round of the playoffs? Browns or Raiders or Chargers?
Or you say second round?
Yeah, because they got the bye.
The current setup.
Yeah. So here's who they would play.
Answer's the Raiders.
Well, Chargers.
They can't play the Raiders.
Oh, that's
the Raiders.
The Raiders are the second.
Raiders. So they could actually play the Browns, not the Raiders, Chargers, and either the Ravens or Bills. I think so. That's the way
you have to avoid the Bills
because the Bills are the 4 seed right now. Titans are 3, so I don't think they would face the Titans.
I think the Bills end up with the number 1 seed.
Well, now you're already backtracking on the Bengals. Breech said he wants to play the Browns.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Over the Chargers, though?
Yeah.
Would you
I'd
rather
much
face
rather have
Baker
Baker-
Mayfield or Justin Herbert?
But like I said, are you all concerned about the cold weather for these guys?
I think it also depends on, I mean, obviously we're 11 weeks away from this. Like what Browns, what do the Browns look like in 11? Are they, if the Browns are suddenly healthy in 11, the Browns right now, you would pick, but the Browns.
Can a broken bone in your shoulder healed in 11 weeks?
No, I'm just saying,
I'm asking, I don't know. He acts like he's going to play this week.
Case Keenum and a fully healthy offensive line, Chubb and Kareem Hunt could beat the Bengals.
No.
They can. I'm not saying they would. I'm saying they can.
We don't know their wide receiver situation either.
Jarvis says he's going to play this week.
Like I just said, you can't make excuses about injuries when the Packers just did what they did. Victor Garcia asked, will the Steelers win any division games this year? I'll set the over-under at 2.5. What do you got? Good Lord.
Oh, I'll take under.
Jeez.
I think they win. I think they win 2.
2.5, Brinson. Over-under on AFC North games. The Steelers win. After going 6-0 last year,
I'm taking the under, and that includes me predicting them to beat the Browns on Sunday. So
that would be their first, obviously, right?
That would be their first, and I think they'll only get one more. I think they'll win one of those final 3. They played what are the final 4?
They got the Steelers, or they got the Browns on Sunday, and then
Ravens twice and Bengals
November 28th. I think they'll split with the Ravens.
That's 2. You get to 3.
I think they'll beat the Browns at home.
All right, Breech. You just got dunked on.
This is a good point by
Nothing's happened yet.
Oh my gosh. Bengals, Panthers, and Steelers were undefeated. Must have been week 1. Because Steelers
the Steelers aren't going 0-6 in the division.
That would be funny if they did. And then Tomlin goes to USC anyway.
That was back in week 3 where they were all undefeated. That's hilarious.
Brinson, did I pick the Raiders? Did you pick the Raiders to lose again this week?
Or week 1?
Yeah, week 1.
Huh?
I was answering the previous question. I don't know what you did.
Sorry.
Brinson, don't fall for it. They're on a bye.
I was like, I don't recall.
He's trying to trick you.
Yes, Raiders and Ravens why did they do that where they had like 14 buys last week and 2 buys this week?
And why, of all the teams that you give a bye to, are you giving a bye to the team located in Las Vegas when the games are being played on Halloween? I mean, drunken people in costumes on the strip going to a Raiders game?
Fish is in Halloween this weekend. Or in Las Vegas for Halloween this weekend.
Halloween.
That's why they did it. Go to a Raiders game than a Fish concert.
You know what actually Fish is doing right now is
I have no idea. Give me 1,000 guesses.
But you would never guess. So this is they're doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Halloween, 4 nights. But they are let me see if I can find this. They are playing only songs with numbers in the titles, and they are working their way down. They started with 2001, 1999, 555, 46 days, Strawberry Letter 23, and 20 years later.
So they're going to sing all my daughter's children nursery rhymes. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed.
There may be a 5 little monkeys jam. Who can say, Breech?
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
No,
5 little monkeys
down to 20. So everything's got to be under 20.
One fell off and bumped his head. How's the rest of it go? I haven't sung that song in a while.
Yeah, that's it.
Over and over again until all the monkeys are.
Oh, I thought then you did something. You keep going back to him falling. Okay.
The mama said, "Don't let your
baptism
1, 2, 3,
in
4,
the ism."
5.
Back to football.
Once I caught a fish alive. 10 little ducks.
Nothing.
I don't know who we're talking about here. From baptism in the ism.
I love the name though. What's the
Yes,
question?
I'm wondering, is he a good head coach? He's always talked about as a great coach, but the
Kyle Shanahan.
Who?
Shanahan.
Oh, geez.
But if they go 5-12,
again?
then what? Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? Our buddy Ken Carmen, who for some reason listens to this podcast.
Love King Harmon.
Yeah. Does the radio show in Cleveland and does the national show sometimes on the weekends for CBS. He was talking about this Monday morning, and I texted him. I said, Ken, I agree with you that Shanahan, if he were named someone else.
Were you listening to local Cleveland radio?
He tweeted it.
Oh, okay.
And then he texted me back and says, oh, I hear you guys now on the podcast dunking all over Brinson. Because I don't know. Baptism in the ism, ask a fair question. He's always talked about as a great coach. They have one winning season since he's arrived. The other seasons they've won no more than 6 games.
It's fine. I think that Kyle Shanahan is objectively a good coach. I
think he's a great coordinator.
I would say that the problem in San Francisco may be that Kyle Shanahan has too much say in personnel.
That I don't disagree with.
That's basically what sunk Mike Shanahan in Washington, which is ironic because Kyle was his offensive coordinator. We called him the Shanahan clan, and we made fun of him because they had too much control over personnel.
I don't remember who. Someone said this last week. I can't remember who, so again, I apologize. But they made it sound like that maybe Shanahan liked Mac Jones, and then had his mind changed.
Was it me?
I thought I read it somewhere. Maybe you did say it, but
I mean, I said on the podcast. Maybe I read it somewhere too. I don't know.
So I don't know if that's out there, if that's what people know, or that's just speculation. So
I talked about this on somebody. Or maybe I talked about this somewhere. Let's say it's the 49ers. Let's bring up the 49ers schedule.
The
49ers are currently what, 2-4?
Yeah, they're next to last in the division.
No, you don't
in the
have
conference,
to be a beehole about it. Just are they 2-4? Like
they're 2-4.
They're 2-4,
but they're 15 out of 16 teams.
Just stop.
They still have to play the Bengals, so that's
they won the first 2 weeks. They beat the Lions and the Eagles. Trash.
Wow, how'd they do that?
They lost to the Packers, Seahawks, Cardinals, and Colts. I will say that I think with the Colts game. Look, man, come on! That game was in a bomb cyclone.
Yeah, the Colts had to play in a bomb cyclone too.
Yeah,
on the road.
Okay, they lost to the Seahawks by 7. I'm not defending that. They lost to the Cardinals by 7. They held the Cardinals, by the way, to 17 points. Colts game
held themselves to 10.
Quit making snarky comments and let me.
Oh, look at this! He doesn't want snarky comments all of a sudden. All right, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that. Now I've lost my point. You guys have completely derailed me.
Who they play before the? Who they play?
I know. I was going to ask. All right, I'm trying to prop up Wilson's boy, and I can't deal with Breech's friggin' snarky comments.
Who's my boy?
If the 49ers had drafted Mac Jones instead of Trey Lance, and he starts week 1 for them because just like he beat out Cam Newton, he beats out Jimmy Garoppolo. What is their record right now? That's why I was trying to set it up. I wasn't making excuses for the 49ers. I was trying to set it up. They lost 2 games by 7 points, and then they lost a game in a bomb cyclone where, admittedly, Kyle Shanahan pooped his pants and tried to throw too much.
3-3.
Yeah, I think the 3-3 is
one more win. That's it.
That's it. I think part of it, again, and it all comes down to land in the right place. I don't know if the right place is San Francisco. Like, what if?
I mean, Kyle Shanahan objectively has a good offensive system. If you don't think that's
but you just talked about all the other things that are problematic.
Like what?
The player personnel stuff.
Well, drafting players and selecting players is different than crafting offensive schemes. I think we all know that.
No, but you said he may have too much control. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, this is doomed 98% of coaches.
Every coach except for maybe Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick.
Well, I would say, I mean, Parcells had, Belichick, which helped on the defense
side the whole time. But okay,
I mean, Andy Reid basically runs personnel.
It didn't work out so great in Philly.
Pete Carroll. These guys won Super Bowls. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, they did win Super Bowls.
All right. Will McClain asks, most likely to be Panthers. I'm not doing this stupid 49ers discussion every week. Go win a game. Win some games, Kyle. So I can shut up defending you. So Wilson will quit trying to peacock.
Breech is worse than me about it. He gets like they
know what it is, right?
By the way,
it's you mad about the Mac Jones not going 3 thing.
I was going to say he's angrier about it than I am. One of the funniest things Breech has ever said, they held themselves to 10 points. That was brilliant.
Boom.
I love it.
Why is Breech mad about it?
Because he recognizes that winning 6 games every year except for 1 year.
Oh no, I know why Breech is mad about it.
Why?
Because who would you say is the biggest peer rival of Kyle Shanahan? Division rival, perhaps. Same age-ish.
Sean McVay?
Where did Sean McVay go to college?
Sean McVay's been to Super Bowl.
And he's never had a losing season.
Yeah, so I mean they went year after.
But also he's had other winning seasons.
Did Sean McVay
went to the University of Miami?
of Ohio.
Miami University.
I got you. I was trying to catch him.
That's what I'm saying. There's always something Breech.
But Breech's point is that
you're like, why is Breech dogging?
Sean McVay's never had a losing record.
Sean McVay averages 11 wins per season. They were hired the same year.
He did it with Jared Goff, and he's never had a first-round pick.
I'm not dogging on Sean McVay. I love Sean McVay.
Well, you're trying to figure out why Breech.
I'm trying to figure out why Breech is attacking Kyle Shanahan.
He's not attacking him.
I said over the summer that I thought Frank Reich was a better coach than Kyle Shanahan, and I still think he is.
All right.
Most likely to be the
Sean
Panthers.
McVay out of it.
Panthers starting quarterback in 2022 starting quarterback Sam Darnold, Mitchell Trubisky, or some rookie.
Kyle Shanahan.
If I were
Sean McVay.
Of those three choices, I would take Mr. Trubisky. And then I would take rookie quarterback, and then I would take
Well,
Kyle
they've already
Shanahan.
guaranteed Sam. I mean, are they going to club Sam Darnold's leg? And
Well, I noticed that Andy Dalton's not listed there.
Well, I mean, clearly they benched Sam Darnold, so they don't care about what they have to pay.
that game was out of hand. That's not a.
He stinks. So you can make all the excuses you want.
He's not. Well, oh my God. Their offensive line is a train wreck.
He stinks.
Brady's calling. Joe Brady's going to have a play call strip from him. He was a hot coaching candidate 2 weeks ago, and he's about to have his play calling duty stripped from him.
Okay, I get all
not
that.
all on Sam Darnold.
It's not all on Sam Darnold.
That's crazy.
I don't think that. I think a lot of it's on Sam Darnold. He
Sam
played
Darnold does not look good, and he's not playing well.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Do you blame Matt Nagy or Justin Fields?
Of course I blame Matt Nagy. Justin Fields has been playing for a month. Sam Darnold's been
You know
playing.
what's crazy about the Sam Darnold situation is that this was the first year that the 5th-year option was fully guaranteed. It used to be just fully guaranteed for injury only. So,
and in fact, when Sam Darnold was drafted, it wasn't like that.
Right. And
All
so
of them
you could
reverted.
conceivably just cut him and move on in March, assuming he didn't get injured. And now that's not an option. That whole 5th-year option is fully guaranteed. So they're stuck with him unless they can trade him.
What is how much is that? 20 something?
It's like 18 point. It's 18 something.
It's 18.9.
$18.9 million.
Just eat it. Eat it and move on.
Cut him?
Whatever. I mean, if you start him next year behind the Saints offensive line, he's still not a good quarterback. Is my point.
I mean, look, they played bad teams and they had Christian McCaffrey, but they played well in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, but at what age?
First of all, we'll answer this too. Alex Omar asks, first of all, Robbie is not Robbie Anderson. It's Robbie. Just yeah. It's weird how that I don't know why that
bothers you.
Not like Alex would know, but like if like Prisco texts me, he's like something about Robbie. It's like you should probably know how I spell my son's name, right?
Robbie Alomar. How does Robbie Alomar spell it?
The answer to that question is it happened last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll probably be 42. I don't know.
2 years. He'll be 9.
I'm joking. I don't know if he's. I don't know the answer to that. The better question would be like, Wilson, when would you? Because it's like a tricky thing. Like, do you?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'll just speak in generalities. You don't want to be best friends with your kids and be partying with them. That's a weird look.
Until they're like 26 or so.
That's right. High school, college.
So when you don't have to pay for their insurance anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look like a.
You don't want to be the dad who's cool with everyone coming over and doing what they want.
But
it's a fine line because you don't want to be the dad who's like the dictatorial.
But right, you don't want to be partying with them. That's a creepy look. Like you don't want to be that dude.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be like down to your basement, like hanging out with your son and his friends and like,
doing bong hits and talking about girls or whatever. Right. It's funny. Like our 10-year-old who is as straight laced as they come. My wife is Italian and like their parents would give them wine and stuff at dinner, just let them try it, just because they, I grew up in a super Southern Baptist. You're going to hell if anything happens. So it's one extreme to the other. But I gave my 10-year-old, like, let him sip some wine, I don't know, over the summer. And I don't think he'll be drinking ever. He's like, oh my God, this tastes terrible. So
I think I would do. I think I will try to do the same thing my dad did for me, which is to tell him like, look, man, at this.
I'm just laughing. I can't wait to hear what this story is.
Just laughing at I'm like talking about my dad and like my son.
No, I want to hear what he told you.
No, laugh away. No, but I mean, my dad was like,
Gord's back.
He's like, look, at a certain age, there's going to be peer pressure to do this. This is going to come into play. I want you to know, like, if you ever want to do something or don't want to do something, you can come talk to me. like, as I mean, like
That's good advice.
yeah, I mean, like if Robbie, if Robbie's like 15, he's like, I want to try a beer. I'm like, well, I mean, this is a little young, but you know what? If I would always feel better about Robbie or I always think it's better to have a controlled environment where you are, as a parent, you can instead of them being out like driving around Raleigh, like in a parking lot, like slamming, doing dumb stuff.
Yeah,
Shotgunning Skyline Chili.
That's right. Shotgun.
That makes sense, though, right? Like,
no, 100%.
you would rather you don't want to like. I don't want to have a party at my house. But if these kids, if there were kids who were like trying to, like, we got to try some natty ice. It's like, look, guys,
you don't want them to hide it from you because then they start doing stupid stuff.
Correct.
You want to, because you want to have the conversation.
It's a very, very fine line.
And this is the conversation I couldn't have in my Southern Baptist community with my parents. Like, I couldn't be like, hey, I'm drunk, come pick me up. Like, that would be.
Right.
So
right.
you can say,
well, that's the conversation. You're like, look,
don't get in the car drunk. Don't do anything stupid. Call me and we'll talk about it later. That's what.
Right. Like if it's 3 a.m. and you're, or I mean, you're 17. It's 3 a.m. You're hammered for whatever reason. You're out and you need a ride. I would always rather you wake me up. I'll come get you, versus you trying to figure out how to get home. Certainly getting behind a wheel. I mean, obviously, but like. And kids these days are different too because they got Uber and we didn't have Uber and Lyft.
And some kids are a lot more straight-laced than we were. I think in part, like the kids who aren't, like out of Fast Times at Richmond High, just because they feel like they have more on the line. So here you go. Here's the.
See, I can see the chat.
All right,
so
Brinson.
like, what about pot and girls? Well, I mean, we'll go to Colorado, man. What do you? I mean,
yeah, that's the other thing. Brinson, over under 15.5 is the first time Breech got drunk.
Oh, way under.
Under, you said?
A drunk or like
he had like more than 3 beers.
He felt something and he wasn't. Yeah.
He had more than.
I'll say under, but not by a lot.
3 or more beers. 15.5.
Does Zima count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
3 or more alcoholic beverages.
Yes,
So I'm gonna go over Breech because you got a big family. You're the middle of the 7, right?
Middle of 6.
Oh, and Breech does have those like disappointing dad feelings because he wasn't a kicker. So
yeah, over 15.5, 3 or more drinks.
You know what? I don't even know. I feel like I think the answer is probably over.
Yes,
but
I think it's probably over for me too.
I'm not 100% sure.
I didn't get my over would be 17. It would be 17.5 because I was doing the right thing, and I thought I was going to try to be a professional athlete. That type of conversation. So I thought it would be like I was banged to my head. No, that's a fair reason to snicker. Bang to my head.
Unfortunately, you said that out loud. Clip and say that.
That's fine. I'm 48. I mean, that was 30 years ago. I had dreams of.
Mine might be over too. I was pretty straight laced until like junior year of high school.
What's Debo's over under?
How old are you now, Debo?
12.
Debo's 29-30. So I bet Debo got loose. He's Catholic. 16.
I think my over under is the same as you, Ryan. 17.5.
Oh, Debo was a straight laced.
Yeah.
Nerd.
I think that's, but I mean, here's the thing: is that's not. I mean, that's just sort of like probably a mean / average. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I mean, like, you don't want to be out there like slinging weed at 13.5 on the street, like this. The school.
That's
corner.
true. Look at this.
Okay, baptism and the ism got drunk at 9.
Not like 9 p.m., but at age 9.
I appreciate you watching. That's too early. That's too soon.
By the way,
Not
if
in
you start drinking at age 9, you end up watching Pick Six podcast at 1 a.m. That's your future baptism in the ism.
As Molly P says, as a mom of 2 teenagers, you guys are making me nervous.
We're pretty straight laced. You can only hope for three.
Well, I mean, I think we're just. I mean, I don't even feel like. I don't know, man. Like the idea of Robbie being old enough to drive and it gives me anxiety.
Driving is much more
in my brain.
Driving is much more concerning, knowing how much my teenage son struggles to pay attention, than if he were sitting in the basement having a beer. Like that'd be one thing.
100%.
Him driving, I don't know what he's up to. I know he ain't paying attention
either back then. You're just gripping the wheel and you're trying to keep it tight. I mean, I don't know if we were talking about this on the podcast or not, but I mean, when I went to high school in Tennessee, it was back in the day. I mean, I didn't have a cell phone. My parents would load me up in my car.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, then we'll read this comment, which is hysterical.
This is funny. And I would back out of the driveway. And
What kind of car
leave
was it?
5.5 hours.
No, what kind of car?
96 Bronco.
Oh, all right.
Stick shift.
I think you say, oh, nice. All right, here. Yeah, you told us that story, and that is still that is
The
still
point
pretty.
being is like you would be driving on a highway at 15, 16 or 16, 17, 18 years old
Through the mountains,
no
phone.
speeding.
Yeah.
No phone.
May or may not. Did you wear your seatbelt?
Sometimes.
Yeah. See,
Definitely smoking. But I mean, like if I can't now, I can imagine it. But at the time, it didn't occur to me. My parents' anxiety was they're just sitting there for 6 hours, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then once my brother started going to the same school, it's like there's two of us in the car. Oh,
which could be worse, by the way.
It gives me like I've started to get to the point where when my wife drove down to Wilmington the other night to see her mom with Robbie, who's on fall break. 2.5 hours. 2 hours, yeah, 2.5 maybe. And it's like all right, I should have got a text by now. Like, all right, like
You got to look on Find My Phone. My wife never looks at Find My Phone when I'm driving all over the place. So just look at Find My Phone. You can see where I am. Quit texting me while I'm driving. I'm going to drive the road
to your wife's phone location.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Do I?
You should, I think.
How? What? I don't think I do.
If you go to Find My Phone, you can request it, and then they say yes.
Son of a bitch says I want to do bong hits with Ryan.
Oh, yeah, that actually is pretty fun.
Actually, me too, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something I do on the reg, but
I don't think Ryan does bong hits, and neither do I. I guess Breech doesn't either.
I did bong hits in college.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
no, I haven't done it in 30 years, 25 years.
My point being is that like if you introduce Wilson into if you throw a little wild card in Wilson, you never know what he'll do. He might punch Breech in the nuts and run away.
Yeah, that was a crazy scene. That's because what was that thing we had to drink, Breech, that our boss bought for us? The car. Oh, you're on mute and I'm nuts.
A bomb of some sort.
Yeah, Irish car bomb, Irish pipe bomb.
No, it was something. It was Red Bull and vodka and something else.
Brinson, you mentioned driving stick. Minus 320 that Breech could drive stick. That's the
right?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
No, it's
5-1 Breech can drive stick, minus 320 Breech can't drive stick. But no, actually, I'm going to change the odds. It's minus 175 Breech can't drive stick.
Okay.
Plus 5-1 Breech can drive stick. Minus 500 Breech will now currently tell us he can drive stick.
Yeah. Minus 500.
Lie and tell us he can drive.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna take the 5-1. I think again he's got a hand-me-down car. His older sister's maybe had it.
It's probably the best odds, honestly. But
can you drive stick, Breech?
You know what's funny about this?
I once with
my sister drove from Sacramento, California to Cincinnati, Ohio in a stick car, except I couldn't drive stick. So we switched seats on the highway.
What?
While we were driving so that she didn't have to drive the whole way.
Were you nervous about if there had been a stoppage and like an accident?
You're in the middle of Wyoming. There's no traffic anywhere. So you don't have to worry about anything. But
what kind of car was it?
You put it as a Toyota something.
So wait a second. I understand. Yeah, you can do the cruise control even on stick shift, but who went over and who went under?
You scoot the seat all the way back.
Oh my god!
And then I would hold the wheel. She would slip over. Then I would slip.
Oh god, that's idiotic.
Oh yeah, it's completely idiotic.
I can't believe that I took bong hits in college. It's the least. This is the less incriminating.
So to answer your question, no, I cannot drive a stick.
So imagine if they had somehow gotten in an accident, but everyone was fine, and the cops show up, and Breech's sister is sitting on the seat, and Breech is sitting on her lap, and they're on the same side as the car has been, run off the road. The cop's like, "What are you doing?" Well, here's the deal. I can't drive stick, so my sister pulled the seat back. I mean, that's insane. That's a crazy story. So he cannot drive stick, but he can drive.
But I drove one across the country.
But he can't drive it if you get him into fourth or fifth gear.
So there's a twist.
All right. That's an hour 44.
All right, people. It's been fun. Thank you for hitting the like button. Congratulations to whoever pulled down the pint glass. Maybe
We'll cheers to you with our own pint glasses once you have it.
Hey, also before you go, try to see where it is on my I need Robbie in here so you can hit the alert button. Isn't there oh no, if you're watching your phone. Yes, Debo. Is it Debo?
No, I said hit the bell notification.
Yeah, there's no bell notification on desktop for some reason.
You sure?
Shout out to the two people who gave us 2 dislikes. I'll take that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That was me.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks for
And Annabelle.
all right, oh, somebody want one more question.
What is it?
I don't know. Oh
Well,
no,
how do
it's Dab, Colorado. Are we gonna answer this?
What did it say?
So what's the Broncos question? You want a Broncos question? We'll get it in. Let's go. Come on.
Go ask it.
Waiting.
Nope. 3. What? We'll do it next time.
Okay.
We'll be back. Let's see. Thursday. We'll be back Sunday night. Live show after all the games. Come after Sunday Night Football. Hang out with us. Same thing on Monday night. Tuesday at 1 p.m. Thursday at 1 p.m. Anytime we'll do chat questions, hang out, do the pod. But for now, we're done. See you guys later.